Hello everyone, my name is Pedro and in this video we're gonna talk about the first Riftbound patch notes and I will cover as well some of the FAQ. So everyone knows the release of the game is this Friday. So I wanted to make this video so you are you acknowledge the changes that will happen even before the game officially releases. So let's go and talk about this. I wanted to start to talk about what is an errata. For those who don't know, an errata is a list of errors in a printed work. In this case, is a card, uh, and that was discovered after printing and shown with corrections. So imagine a card that was discovered to have some errors. So they, in a future release, they will print the same card but with the corrections. For example, here in Yu-Gi-Oh, this happens all the time. Online in Hearthstone, it's quite easier to make because you don't own the card, so it's easier to make the change. This means that, for example, if you had this third erratum Sangan, you will need to consider this text here, for example. Even if it's not written the same thing, you will need to know these rules here to play Sangan because the old text is not relevant anymore. So in Riftbound, it will be the same thing. Some cards have corrections, but the cards that you will receive this Friday are not the good ones. So you'll need to play with the errata version. So you need to know them, and this is why I am making this video. Before starting, I wanted to make some quick reminders. You can screenshot if you want. This is a reminder for the turn order. A quick reminder for the burnout. So in many TCGs, if you run out of cards, you will lose the game when you draw. In Riftbound, you don't lose immediately. First, you will need to recycle your trash into your deck, shuffle, and then choose an opponent to score 1 point. And if you burn out again, but you don't have a trash to recycle, then you can king make and make someone win. Besides of you, of course. Also, your sideboard must have 0 or 8 cards in constructed format. This will not be the case for your pre-release this Friday, so don't worry. And the battlefields and the legend you choose are the ones that you are stuck with for all the tournament. So you cannot have a second legend or a fourth battlefield in your sideboard and swap them between games. That's not allowed. And of course, you cannot have any duplicate among your 3 battlefields. Some ruling about Legion and Recall. Hide a card, play a token, and use an ability. Do not trigger Legion because they are not playing a card. And also a little clarification, recalls are not moves. So if you Zonia a traveling merchant, it will not activate its ability. Um, Here are little info for Sundisk. If you play Sundisk, you can tap itself for its Legion cost because it will count itself as the previous card, but only when you play it. If it's already on the field, it will not work, of course. Many rulings for hide because it's quite a complicated mechanic. First, your teamos that are in your champion zone can use the hidden abilities. So you don't need to put it in your hand before. You can just play the teamo from your champion zone, hidden it into a battlefield. Other important rulings here are if you need to play a unit that it's hidden, or you you have a hidden secret that makes you play tokens. It doesn't exist, but it might exist in the future. You need to play those units at the battlefield where the card is hidden. The same is true if you have a card that targets. You need to target a card at the battlefield where the card is hidden if possible. A little note for Zonia. Zonia doesn't target. So if if an unit anywhere will die, Zonia will save it because it's not targeting a unit. A little clarification with Timo. Timo, when you reveal your 5 cards, it's cards that are work with hidden. It doesn't count Emberborn or Noxus Saboteur. Those cards do not have hidden, but mention it in the text. And now let's start with the core part of this video. I want to start with a little teaching. In Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, there are cards that are called floodgates or stacks cards, which impede your opponents or even yourself to play something. So, for example, Necro Valley impedes everyone, I think it's your opponents or everyone, whatever, impedes you to play from the graveyard. Dyna impedes you to special summon. It's like to play a unit. Dranith impedes you to play spells anywhere other than in your hand. And Budew, I don't play Pokemon, but I felt that this was also a stacks card. So there are some cards that impede you to play, and this might be relevant for Riftbound in the future. So, for example, if you have cards like Ava or like the Harrowing, where you need to play from trash or from hand, but a card doesn't allow you to do it, you will need to put the card back where you found it. Um, the problem is when you need to do it from the deck and you are not allowed to. So let's take Granite Magistrate again. It says oh, your opponents can't cast cards from anywhere other than in their hands. So if you need to play an unit from your deck, where do you put it? Because a deck is technically a private information and you cannot put it back because it will be like knowing where the card is. Um, Same examples here. So Riot created a new keyword. It's called banish. If you need to play a card from your deck, you will need to banish it before playing. So if for whatever reason you cannot play the card, you will leave it banished and you can recycle the 4 others. A funny thing that I discovered is that they made this correction for these 4 cards, but in my opinion, reinforce also counts, also has the same type of effect. So just be aware that reinforce didn't get the errata, but these 4 cards did, even if it's a quite similar effect in my opinion. Some baited hook clarifications also. Baited hook uses information about the killed unit. So if you prevent the unit's death by, for example, bouncing it back to hand or in healing it, which I will come in a future slide, there will not be killed unit. So baited hook cannot evaluate the killed unit mites because there were no killed units. So these 3 cards, if you save the unit with this, baited hook um, will not activate. Yeah. This is a little explanation here because null plus 1 it's equal to null. So no unit will be played because no unit has a null might. So a little buff to Nocturne. Nocturne was meant to be look and reveal. In your printed card, you will only see look, but be sure to understand that reveal also counts and abuse it if you can and put a Nocturne in your Jinx deck, for example. Here is a little example. I will let you pause the video and read it. A little update on targets. Targets, when you play a card with target, you must choose the destinations and the targets. So for example, if you play Charm, you will need to choose the unit, the where it's moving and where it will arrive. So you will need to choose all the destinations and the source where the unit comes when you play the card. The same is true with cards like back to back. You will need to choose the 2 friendly units when you cast the card. So if your opponent counter spells it, they know what were your targets. Reflective triggers is a new concept. It's to correct some bugs that could happen with Disintegrate and Dragon's Rage. It doesn't change much in my opinion, so I will let you read it, but it actually changes something with Icatian Rain and Falling Star. So because they are reflexive triggers, these two cards, you do not need to announce the targets when you play the card. What will happen here, you will play Cash and Rain, it will go 6 times in the stack, and for each trigger you will need to choose if the what's the target, and you will need to pay the deflect costs. But in my comprehension, if your opponent needs to win wild your card, they will need to do it when you play the card, and so they will not know what will be your target for these two cards only, because with these type of cards you need to say the targets when you play the card. This is because the do this keyword, which you can see here in Icatian Rain, do this 6 times, and Falling Star is do this twice. New keyword, it changes nothing, it's just a little bit of precision, and it it allows us to have a keyword to say what those cards were meant to do. Some little precisions with heal. If you heal a unit that it was killed with Cruel Patron will still be played because the cost was already paid. It doesn't care if the unit was healed back. The same thing with Hidden Blade. The person will still draw 2 because the cost was still played. It doesn't care if the unit wasn't killed. A little precision with Kokma. I will explain it with an example. If Kokma attacks a Buccaneer, Buccaneer will heal back to 5 for the cleanup before Death Knell deals it 4 damage. So Kog'Maw attacking a 5 might unit will not make it die. The explanation is here. Now I'm gonna talk about lords. A little bit of teaching. A lord in Magic the Gathering are cards that give other units with the same type +1/+1, so +1 attack, +1 defense. You have two of the most known lords here in the modern format. In Riftbound, there are the same thing. There are lords. Here are the 4 that we have for now. And now I'm gonna explain you this with an example. Here you have a Garen and a recruit that was boosted with Garen, and they fight this crocodile. What happens is if the crocodile does 6 damage, 5 to Garen and 1 to the recruit, you will think that when Garen will die, the recruit will lose its Lord buff, so it will go to 0 might and it will die too. But this is not what happens in Riftbound. The recruit will be healed before lethal damage is checked. So even if Garen is not there anymore, the recruit was healed back, so it will remain with 1 might. This is a important interaction to know. Uh, Maybe it will happen if you find some Captain Farron or Tariq in your pre-release this Friday, so we'll keep it in mind. These 3 cards have this turn, they forgot to add it. So be sure to know this is very, very important. Do not cheat or do not get cheated. They have this turn keyword. This is less relevant, but important to know. These 4 cards have up to. So if you don't have 4 runes or 2 units, you can still target 1 or 1, 2, or 3 for Sona. Units do not see themselves die. So some people think that if Wraith of Echoes sees itself die, it will count for its effect. It was errated to say another. And also some precisions here. Um, if other units die at the same time that Breath of Echoes, this card will not see them die because they died everyone died at the same time. And if two units die at the same time, it will only trigger once. It will not trigger for each unit dying at the same time. Now, some quick erratas do you need to know. Tideturner was written so it means to be like it was supposed to be. You choose an unit in another location because the original text it wasn't clear. Ava, the it allows you to play hidden cards, but in the face up side. It doesn't allow you to hide cards, but to play a card that it's mentioned hidden. The same thing, you cannot play the Little Yordle or Noxus Saboteur because they do not have hidden, they just mention it. Karma is an important one, be sure to know it. When you recycle one or more cards, was errated to your main deck because some people thought that when you recycle a rune, Karma will trigger, which is not meant to be. Symbol of the Solari was not very clear. It's written recall all units instead, but it means all units at that battlefield, not all the units in play. Pack of Wonder, some people might cheat you, so be sure to know this rule. It says return another friendly hidden card to its owner hand. It doesn't say from where. Some people would return a hidden card from the trash to their hand. They errata this to say face down card, so be sure that the hidden card will be in play. Don't get cheated. It doesn't touch the graveyard, the Pack of Wonders. Other errata here with Sigil of the Storm, they added a new keyword which is must. When you conquer here, you must recycle one of your runes. You cannot interact with this. Why, you say? Because some people thought that this put the recycle on the stack and they could chain a card like Hidden Blade to recycle the rune that was going to be recycled with Sigil of the Storm. So you like cheated one recycle because you recycle the same rune with two effects. Was not meant to be. Sigil of the Storm needs to happen, and if you want to play Hidden Blade, you need to recycle another rune. Now a little clarification with Foxfire. A little typo here. Foxfire, you need to choose the units as you play the card. So if the units you choose change their might value, you will still need to choose units among them to total 4 might or less. You have many examples here to let you understand it well, but if you are not, if for example you targeted 4 recruits and all recruits now have 5 might or more, you cannot choose another unit. So Foxfire will just fizzle because in the 4 targets you chose at the beginning, no one respects the condition. And here is a little bit of knowledge if you want to know what is fizzle. It's a common TCG term which means that a spell or an ability fails to resolve because its targets become illegal or are no longer valid, which would be the case in these examples here that you can pause the video and read them. A little clarification with Void Gate. Let's get an example. Void Gate only gets the bonus damage where if a spell targets Void Gate. If you cast Falling Star one target at Void Gate and one target anywhere else, this Falling Star will have 4 damage, but this will have 3. A little clarification with Unyielding Spirit, even if it's quite understandable, it will prevent spell and ability damage, but not spell if a spell or ability instructs a particular object to deal damage, that object is dealing the damage, not the spell or ability. So for example, Unyielding Spirit cannot negate Challenge or Last Breath, because Challenge or Last Breath are not dealing damage. They are instructing another object to do the damage. But I think this is quite understandable. Uh, Following the same examples, Immortal Phoenix is the same thing. If a card makes you kill a unit or makes another object kill the unit, Immortal Phoenix will not revive you. These are some examples that make this valid. If you challenge two units to fight, Immortal Phoenix cannot revive because challenge didn't kill any unit. You have a huge explanation here. If you want to know more, I will let you pause the video and see it. Be aware that this is a legal play. If you Hidden Blade an Immortal Phoenix, it will see itself die, so you can revive it from trash after it was killed with a Hidden Blade. A little precision with your chosen champion. If you have a card like Hallowed Tomb, which says when you hold here, you may return your chosen champion from your trash to your champion zone if empty. Let's say in this game you are playing Jinx and you chose Red Jinx as your chosen champion. If you have the 3 red Jinxes in your grave, or even let's say your real chosen champion was bounced back to hand and you have another one in the graveyard, Hallowed Tomb doesn't care who was your real chosen champion. It will just put a red Jinx back from your trash to your champion zone. Be aware that you cannot put a purple Jinx because at the start of that game, purple Jinx was not your chosen champion for that particular game. But if you decide to put it after, it will work. These are 2 new rules that, in my opinion, do not change nothing, but I think it's important to know them. I will let you pause the video and read this, but I don't think it quite matters for the first event. Here are some information for 2v2s and free-for-all. I will let you pause the video and read it. I don't plan to play 2v2s or free-for-all, but I still wanted to put the information for you in case you need it. And in case you need a quick reminders of the most important erratas to remember, these are, in my opinion, I talked about many clarifications or rules in this video, but those are you are not printed in the cards anywhere, so you need to know them. But for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 cards, they have the wrong text, so you need to know the good one so you don't cheat or you don't get cheated in your first events. So I wish you a great day and good luck this Friday with your event.